he's a writer with Icelandic Football Magazine, and we're going to talk about the upcoming World Cup and a bit about Iceland's chances in this World Cup. So, welcome, Mark.
Welcome, yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining me this evening.
No problem.
So maybe, Mark, if you could just first introduce your football magazine to us, and what exactly do you write in the magazine, and how is it doing, the magazine?
Yeah, well, there was nothing about Icelandic football at all written anywhere. There's nothing in English. There's only a yearbook that comes out, and that's written in Icelandic and made in Reykjavik. And there was very little. I had started up some blogs, and I started getting a lot of questions about the blogs, and the blogs actually took off, and they went to 105 countries worldwide. So there was obviously plenty of interest there. So I decided just to do a 4-year project of making the blogs and turning it into a magazine. And that's been received well. And the last year's edition went out to 25 countries worldwide.
Okay.
And the Icelandic FA, they kind of liked it as well. So they'd bought a batch off for me. So they sell it to the tourists at the National Stadium because there's something in English for them to read.
Okay, excellent. So you're on. What edition are you up to now?
This will be my last edition this year. This will be my 4th edition
Okay.
this year. So I've just decided to travel the whole country. Started in the west first, and I went up down to the south in the second year, up north last year, and I finished in the east of the country this year.
Okay. I suppose Iceland is such a small country that you go around and around a few times, I guess.
Well, it's not really. It's quite a vast country, to be quite honest. It's very difficult to get to some of the remote areas, really difficult to travel around.
Okay.
And when I went out east there, I had to get a flight out from Reykjavik to Eaglestader.
Okay.
Or it was a 9-hour journey one way.
Wow.
And I can't.
So let's get on to the World Cup then. I guess the easiest question would be what's your opinion on Iceland's chances for this World Cup? How do you think they'll do?
Well, I think they'll do well. If they stay clear of injuries, they'll do well. Heimir Hallgrímsson, the manager, he's got his squad organised the other week there, and it came out last Friday, I think, when I was over in Iceland. So it's been quite well received by the public. They've got 3 or 4 key players who are just returning back from injury, which could be a problem if any of them break down in training or whatever, or during any games. So it's their 4 key players: Aron Gunnarsson, captain. Gylfi Sigurðsson, everybody knows about his story as well. Kolbeinn Sigurðsson, he's been left out of the squad because his injury's not going to heal in time.
Okay.
So there's another few boys that have not really been getting game time. So there could be an option, but if they stay clear of injuries, I think they'll do really well in the group stages, and I can see them going through in second place.
Okay.
Automatically, I'm quite confident of that.
Confidence. I mean, it is a tough group. I mean, Argentina, Croatia, Nigeria. I mean, I think that's probably the hardest group in the World Cup.
Well, it would have been maybe 10, 15 years ago when these other teams had great players. Everybody's going on about Argentina. They've seen how they get dismantled when they played their friendlies there not so long ago.
Yeah.
And they struggled. I spoke to a Argentinian journalist last month, and they're not happy with them either. The team struggled all the way through their qualification for the World Cup.
Okay.
They really, really did struggle.
Okay.
So I would say they're definitely nowhere near the team that they were before.
Okay. So I don't know, what's the order that Iceland play? Who are they playing first?
They play Argentina in their first match.
Okay.
So this could be quite an interesting how it all breaks out with Argentina first, then they play Nigeria second. I think that's going to be the key game of the group. The third game will be Croatia. And depending on what's happened in the games before, that could be a game. It could just turn out to be a draw for each country, depending on how the other results go.
Okay. Would you care to give a prediction for each game?
I think Croatia will be the hardest game. I think Iceland will take a defeat from Croatia.
Okay.
I'd say maybe 2-1 for Croatia.
Okay.
Nigeria, I think Iceland could probably beat them. They can be a bit disorganised at time, and discipline can be pretty bad with them as well.
Yeah.
I would go for a 3-1 for Iceland to beat Nigeria, and I think they'll beat Argentina. I think they'll beat Argentina 1-0. Honestly do.
I say, okay, well. That would be a fantastic start to the World Cup
Hmm.
if they did it. Is there any subtle differences between this Icelandic team and the one that we've seen in the Euros?
No, it's going to be quite similar, to be quite honest. They've got a few young guys coming in, but they've got, as I said, they've got a few guys with injury or carrying injuries who are hopefully going to be fully match fit at the time. But I think they'll be okay. It's basically the same squad or same nucleus of players that were at the Euros.
Okay,
There's
okay,
going to be maybe 3 or 4 new faces going into the squad,
okay,
but there'll be obviously just squad players there as well as backup who
okay.
probably won't play so much.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, it's good continuation then.
Yeah.
And is there? I mean, Iceland has surprised people, but has this been coming for a while? I mean,
Yeah,
is it underage or where's this
This
It's been
recent
coming for a long time.
improvement.
Yeah, it's been they got the indoor halls sorted in 1999. The FA had went over to Norway to have a look at their how everything was working over there with their infrastructure and obviously like the indoor halls. So they started that up.
Okay.
The Iceland group that came and played in the Euros, about 10 of that squad actually broke through at the very same time. So it was the golden generation. Every country does get it from time to time. Most football clubs will get it as well. And they were lucky, and a lot of it's been stemming back from the infrastructure, the indoor halls that can be used over the winter.
Okay.
All these players played in Iceland at the time.
Okay.
They were all 11 years old when they just started all coming up together.
Okay.
And they started breaking through the youth squads, the Iceland youth squads, 15s, 16s, right up into 18s and 21s. So they've all come up at the same time. The nucleus of the main squad that's going to Russia, so they know each other very well. They're all very good friends with each other.
Okay.
And I think that's a good thing that they've got as well.
Yeah.
Such a small country, everybody knows each other. They've all grown up with each other.
Yeah.
Comparing that to other international teams where you've got guys that have never seen each other before because they're getting through with a grandparent or something to get into the squad.
It's Ireland, isn't it?
Yeah. In France, they're the same as well.
But you can see that from the way they play. I mean, it really is a unified team. So you said like it's a small, everybody knows each other. I mean, have you seen any of the players yourself around town, and have you spoken?
Yeah, you
to
see
them?
players about. Carrie Anderson, the defender, he was here in Aberdeen. He was playing for Aberdeen.
Okay.
Done an interview with him. He's just signed back for his boyhood club.
Okay.
He signed on for them on Tuesday, so before the deadline closed in Iceland for the summer. It opens again for 2 weeks in July. But you'll see players down the street. There was I was taking photos pitch side at one of the games the other night there, and one of the ex-international players, he was in the crowd. He was 2 seats away from me.
Okay.
Did a quick hello because he obviously knew who I was because I had my Icelandic Football Magazine vest on. So it's real. Most of the Icelandic boys are really down to earth compared to other nations. See, when you see other nations guys walking down the street or whatever, they'll not give you the time of day. These guys will stop and have a chat with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely no problem. You're just like one of the guys to them.
That's good. And again, you've seen that in the Euros with the crowd and the support. You could see it was very close to the team.
Yeah.
Coach Heimer Hallgrímsson.
Al Grimson, yeah.
I know. I don't really know much about him, to be honest. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is he a postman or something?
He's an ex-dentist.
Ex-dentist.
So he still does dentistry
Okay.
now and again. There was a girl last year. He stays in the island of Vestmannaeyjar. He was watching a women's game last year in the Women's League, and somebody had actually cracked a tooth
Okay.
during the game, so he had to actually up and do emergency surgery. He was just there as a fan.
Okay.
Everybody loves him. He's another guy who'll go to the Iceland main supporters pub during a game. Before the game, he'll tell them what tactics they're going to play,
Wow.
and obviously there's no photos allowed or cameras or anything like that. But he does it for every single home game.
Okay.
The pub will stay silent. He'll come up. It's just a unique thing that the Icelanders have got. Do you imagine somebody try to do that in Glasgow or Dublin or wherever?
So what kind of philosophy then does he? Is it a continuation of what Lagerbach did, or is
Yeah, they're very similar coaches. They'll play possessional football and just try and hit teams in the break. I mean, that's what they're good at, and they're good at set pieces. They're very strong at set pieces as well, which is one of the things you've obviously seen that in the Euros, where a lot of the goals are stemming from set pieces. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about this year is the ages of the defence. The defence is actually getting quite old. I would reckon this will be the end of the World Cup for about 7 or 8 of the guys who are in this actual squad just now. So they're going to have to be wary. The French done their homework on when they played Iceland in the 5-2 game in the quarter-finals. They tested Iceland by putting balls over the defence. You've seen that. There was 4 of their goals. 3 or 4 of the goals were long balls over the defence, and Iceland couldn't cope with the pace of the French forwards. So that's one. Their really, really weak spot is there. But play a pressing game, and what they also do as well is they'll press teams as hard as they can back up the park, and they'll force teams into errors. They're really, really good at that. One of the best teams in the world, forcing errors from teams. So it's an art. But all the teams in the World Cup will all be doing their homework and how to. But tactics could change,
So that kind of game probably could work against a team like Nigeria and Argentina then, I guess, that kind of pressing game. So the provisional squad list is out, I think, yesterday or the last few days. Is there any player that we should look out for, that, or a young player that we might not know, that like who would you recommend that we have a look at?
I would have a look at Horder Magnuson from Bristol City, a young defender.
Okay.
He's going to be big. He'll be playing with a Premiership club or a Championship club after the World Cup. If he gets a chance, that is. He might not make it into the starting 11, but he'll be the main backup guy.
Yeah.
And he's very powerful. He scored the winning goal when they played Croatia in the qualifiers. They beat them 1-0 in Reykjavik. Okay. He scored the winning header, and he's a very strong player. Another player who is probably going to be the biggest thing to come out of Iceland since Eidur Gudjohnsen will be Albert Gudmundsson.
Okay.
Winger. He's playing with PSV just now. He's only 20 just now.
Okay.
So he'll be another impact player that they're going to, if anything happens with strikers or midfielders, whatever. He'll be the impact player that will come on, and he can actually change games.
Yeah, very good. To be honest, I don't know a whole lot of the squad, but I mean they do play as a team, a cohesive team.
Yeah.
So, and I correct me if I'm wrong, but I do seem that in the last Euros, Lars Lagerbäck, he did use his substitutes quite well, didn't he? I mean, I don't know if the new manager does that, but it did seem that every player did get a good run out from the squad in the last.
Well, the thing, I was actually discussing this with one of my friends over in Reykjavik the other night there. I was quite worried about the injuries that he's taken over with the team, or people that are just coming back from rehabilitation from injuries. Okay. And it was one thing that was quite worrying me, was because there's quite a few key players, but some of the guys that he's drafted in to the squad, they're flexible and playing in different positions as well. So he's kind of covered himself with. Okay. That's in mind that if anybody does get injured, we've got cover for defence and midfield for guys that can switch into different positions. So he's done his homework very well, and they've got quite a good squad that's gone over. A strong, experienced squad, but there's also some youth in there as well.
Yeah, it's a kind of a trick to get that right in international management. Do you keep picking the settled squad, or how do you blood players? I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds. So how was the build up for the World Cup? I mean, how has Iceland been doing in friendlies? Players in form.
They played 2 friendlies over in America. They played with Peru and Mexico, and they taken 2 defeats, but it wasn't. I wouldn't even look into that whatsoever with any kind of outlook in it, because that was basically all testing players. He never played his strongest squad, and there was obviously guys out with major injuries at the time. That was a tester for a lot of guys who could have went into the squad at the World Cup and see how they perform at a higher level, a more intense level. So I wouldn't read too much into the games. Like there's a lot of players missing.
Okay. So what's the atmosphere like in Iceland? Or I know you've just come back from Iceland. What
Uh-huh.
the atmosphere is there? Bunting and flags, and everybody's wearing
Yeah,
a jersey.
it's pretty crazy. When you just walk down the main street up there, there's Iceland flags and scarves.
Yeah.
Every single shop window selling them. There's guys walking about with. I seen them, two guys walking about with kind of wheelbarrows, obviously selling stuff. It didn't look official merchandise right enough, but
Yeah.
everybody's just on a high, and they're going to be setting up big screens downtown in Reykjavik,
Okay.
two areas, so you can see the crowds that came to see them the last time.
Uh-huh.
That'll be happening again.
So what are people's expectations? I mean, do they really expect to come out of the group, or are they just happy to be there, or?
No, they're not going there to make the numbers. That's for sure. Everybody I've spoke to over there, they're not going there to make the numbers.
Mhm.
There could be a couple of possibilities that they go there and do another Euros again. It's quite possible. But on the other hand, they're no kind of going into it with tunnel vision, thinking that they're going to do that.
Mhm.
There is the possibility players might get injured,
Mhm.
and they know it's going to be an uphill task after that. But they're under no illusions that it's going to be difficult. But they feel as if they can actually do it. That's just the Icelandic mentality. They still think they can actually go and get something.
Yeah, they'll probably give it a good try anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, Russia's quite a far distance. I mean, is there many supporters going out?
Well, that's another subject. There's been big problems from FIFA. FIFA have only allocated 3,200 tickets to Iceland for the Argentina game. This is another FIFA directive.
Okay.
It's just a
Why?
shambles.
3,000, that's not much.
3,200. Each set of fans only get the 7% or 8%, 8% or 7% of the capacity of the stadium.
Okay.
That's all any country gets.
Yeah. So who's going to be filling up these stadiums?
Well, it'll be corporate guests as per usual from FIFA. They're just destroying the game.
Yeah. But I can't
They're saying
imagine.
it's a game for the world, but it's not a game for MD. It's just a game for money men who are supporting FIFA.
Yeah, but I can't imagine every stadium will be completely full if that's the case. Really, I mean, I wouldn't think there'd be a lot of supporters going to this World Cup compared to other World Cups. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Yeah, but for all the statistics that have come out for FIFA, they reckon it's going to be sold out games. They reckon they've sold most of the tickets.
right.
Iceland had 60,000 ticket applications put in for the World Cup.
Okay.
Obviously, the majority would have been the Argentina game.
Yeah.
But I think there's something like 3,000 or 3,500 for the two other group matches.
Okay.
Because it's easier to get tickets.
Yeah.
But I'm not joking, they're easily 10,000
Okay.
for Argentina game, no problem. Maybe more.
And are people gonna travel anyway if they don't get tickets? I suppose.
No, they can. I tried to get an application to get tickets, and it's very difficult to get into the country because they have a fan ID now.
Oh, cool.
So you can't get anywhere near a stadium. You can't even get into the country. You've got to go and apply for a separate visa. It's very difficult to get into Russia for the World Cup unless you actually have a ticket.
Wow.
If you've got a ticket, you can then apply for a fan ID, which then gives you free visa movement within the country.
Okay.
But you can't. It's so difficult to get into the country for the World Cup.
That's a bit of a downer for Icelandic fans.
And the other thing that FIFA have just said, well, it's not them, it was the Russian government have just turned around and said 2 weeks ago that on the day of a match and the day before a match for 48 hours, there'll be no alcohol served in any restaurants or anything.
Okay.
So you're spending maybe £2,000 to go out there to watch your country in the World Cup and you're not allowed a beer
Are
the day before a game or a day on the game.
What about in the stand, like Budweiser or some rubbish like that?
No, you're not allowed anything.
Wow.
It's a zero tolerance, and that includes. So I was speaking to one of the boys. He was saying he's just going to get a big carry out, and obviously they'll do it 3 days before the game, put it in their hotel room so they can
walk around like
this.
Yeah, but I mean that's silly because Russia's doing this because of their own fans, basically, really, isn't it? And they're tarring everybody else because of the reputation of their own fans, I think.
Yeah.
So how would you define an Icelandic fan? What kind of football fan are they? Are they like knowledgeable about the game? Are they?
Yeah. Yeah, very knowledgeable. Yeah, as I said, it was sitting speaking to a couple of guys in the pub the night before I left, and two of the guys are in the big supporters club. It do all the chants and everything. They are really, really intensely in love with their country. They've got a real passion for it. So we were speaking about what they might be doing at the World Cup. So they've got two friendlies coming up. So I spoke to him about something that I'd actually seen at a concert one time.
Yeah.
So he went away, I showed him a clip of it. So he's went away and showed it to the head guy. And I can't say too much about it because they're going to give it they're going to try it at the Norway game to see if the whole thing's going to work. And this could be one of their things. But I know they're working on some other things to do at the stadium. So it's more than just the Who you'll probably hear this year. They're looking at 2 or 3 different options of doing different things.
Okay.
But they're going to try these out against Ghana and Norway in their next 2 friendly games.
Definitely have to look out for that then. That sounds interesting.
Something that I've told them they could possibly be doing at the World Cup.
Okay. Obviously, I was gonna do. I bought this. I bought these Panini stickers. Did they collect? Did they have these in Iceland?
They do them. Yeah, they were out. They had them out for the Euros over there.
You know, in Switzerland they have exclusive. They're different versions because everybody's loaded in Switzerland apparently, so they're much more expensive in Switzerland. Which is a lot of bullshit. No, I was just going to do it for every interview, maybe if I can bloody open this thing. I was going to open maybe just one pack. Just give us your opinion on what. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm opening this pack. This is my first pack that I
Uh-huh.
Okay, do you know anything about this fella? Marco Asensio. I've never heard of him.
I've never heard him at all.
From Spain. These are all two big players. How's your Korean knowledge of Korean footballers?
Not very good.
You know him, Hugo Lloris, French.
Oh yeah,
French.
yeah.
What's your opinion of him? He's not too bad, is he?
He's all right. Yeah,
I think he's
a decent player. Yeah,
he's world class. I wonder what any Icelandic things. St. Petersburg. So where are Iceland playing? What's the 3 cities?
they'll be playing their first game in Moscow. It's getting played at the Spartak Stadium.
Okay.
Then they go to where is it? Something on Don. I can't even remember the name of the place.
Rostov.
And I think was it Rostov and Don or something like that?
Maybe
Something,
that one, yeah.
something like that. And then one of their other games is away down south, so they've got a hell of a lot of travelling to do.
Okay. It's France.
Yeah.
What do you think of their team? Do you think they?
They're very difficult to call these days.
Yeah.
I mean, they're up and down. Look, they've taken beatings and they've went out thrash teams as well.
Yeah. It's typical French way of doing things, I think. Okay, I have an English player, Jamie Vardy. Did he make the squad? I think. I don't know. Did he make the squad? Did he? I guess he did.
I think he did, yeah. But England I can't see them going further in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Quite honest.
The different setup now. It's kind of blooding a lot of young players. Vincent Kompany, Belgium. How do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think of Belgium's chances?
There could be one of the outsiders for the tournament. They could be one of the outsiders. Yeah, I think they've got a good squad there. They've got a lot of guys who are playing for the team that are unsung heroes with their own clubs. So I think they've got a good possibility.
Okay.
I think Germany.
Australia.
I could early doors for them.
I opened 2 packs there. I got no superstars and no Icelandic players so far. So who are you going for in the World Cup then? You're going for Germany?
I'll go for Germany, yeah. I can't see by them. They've got such a strong squad. I mean, Brazil got a strong squad again, but they're just nowhere near the talent that used to play 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And saying that, football's changed so much as well. It's possessional football, which it's no great for fans to watch these days. It's all about keeping the ball and trying to hit teams in the break. And it's terrible to watch, to be quite honest. Some teams, the last Euros were awful. I would say Northern Ireland, Wales and Iceland are the only 2 teams that have done anything think most of that is because obviously they've got small populations, but because they're the underdog, I think everybody was wanting them to do well.
Yeah.
But I thought the games were really poor quality, and even the so-called stars weren't really doing much either.
I definitely think the last Euros, that you're right, the small teams like even Hungary and Albania, and Iceland, Wales, Northern, they provided as much good football as the more established teams, which was a bit. So I do have a beer blog. So I mean, the only Icelandic beer I could get my hands on was Einstock.
That's good. I've tried that before.
Is that the only beer that they drink in Iceland?
No, there's beers over there. Probably the main beer that they sell over there is Eagle's Gull beer, which is Eagle's Gold, which is probably their most famous beer. They've also got Viking beer as well. I think it's made by the same company.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I drink when I go over. But saying that, I was trying all sorts of different. I was getting a lot of freebies at clubs and stuff because I was doing some photography for them and stuff when I was over for my magazine. So I was getting some freebies, but I was getting beers that I've never heard of.
Advantages of the press pass, I guess.
Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah.
But is it expensive in Iceland? Beer?
Seriously expensive. It was on average it was about £9 per pint. £9, £9.50 a pint.
Yeah.
But they do happy hours.
Okay.
And even the happy hours are quite sad hours, because they'll have it for maybe 4 to 8 o'clock. What was that I paid the other night? It was 1,200 kroner, which is £9.50 or £9.60 or whatever. But you buy one beer, and then they give you a card, and you go up and get your other one for nothing. So it's costing £4.50 or whatever.
Okay, so it'd be, well, Switzerland is pretty expensive too. And just a few more questions. So just apart from the World Cup, then, what's the standard like in the Icelandic National League?
Domestic league?
Yeah, domestically, yeah.
Yeah, it's for the last 2 seasons it's been quite poor. It has dropped in standard. I'm saying really dropped in standard.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was quite good. And I'd spoke to a few friends in 2015, and we thought there'd be at least one team making the Europa League stages, the group stages. Obviously, not going very further than that, right enough. But we'd thought that would have happened by now.
Yeah.
But the FA have invested quite a lot of money after the years. They invested most of their money into the clubs, obviously for their grassroots legacy, and they give them money from TV rights. So the football this year has got better. It's a much better standard for what I was seeing over the last week there. But they still need to work at certain things. It's quite difficult to attract players over to play for 6 months.
Yeah.
That's one of the big drawbacks. Is it's such a short season. They can't really lure anybody from England or any kind of bigger leagues, even the lower divisions of the bigger leagues, over, because of such. They're basically getting guys over there just now who are needing match fitness before they'll get them on loan, and then they'll go back to their clubs. And
Did I see something that David James is out there, or did I?
He was out there 2014, I think it was.
Okay, that was a while ago.
It was, what's his name again? Herman Hreidarsson used to be the manager at Portsmouth. Was it Portsmouth? No, he was playing for Portsmouth at the time. He was the manager of that team. They were obviously good friends. They played together on various occasions at clubs in England. And he'd said to him, David was at the end of his career anyway.
Okay.
He said, why come out and give it a bash in Fesmania? It was one of the islands, famous island over there. It's got the set in a volcano, basically. One of the most bizarre grounds I've ever been in my life. But he went over there and had a successful time. I know for a fact he still follows the game over there as well.
Okay, very good. So who are the current champions then?
Current champions are Valur Reykjavik.
Okay.
They've won the cup twice in the last 3 years. The league, the Icelandic Cup, and they won the league. This time they broke the domination of FAU Hafnarfjarðar. They were the dominant team, but Valur have come into a lot of money. They've stole off part of the road stadium, which is right next to the airport, and obviously there's a big cry out over there to get plots of land, and it's in a very good area downtown in Reykjavik where they've got this land. They play basically in the city centre, so
Okay.
They've sold a lot of this land off, and they're building upmarket flats there, and you can just guess the price of land over there if it's £9 a pint.
They should win the league for next 5 or 6 years then, I suppose, for that.
I think it could be possibly longer than that. They'll win it for, unless one of the other teams get a run in Europe and get into the group stages.
Yeah.
Because most of the money these clubs rely on is just from sponsors. If they get a good run in European football, even to the playoff stages, they earn a lot of money from that, even for the small teams.
But,
So if somebody hits the group stages other than Valur in the Champions League, it's not going to happen because the way everything's changed now.
yeah.
But if somebody gets into the Europa group stages, they're probably the only possible team that will be able to compete against Valur, I would say, for the next decade.
Yeah.
They'll get that much money. It's
Still a big ask, though. I think there's an extra round even in the Europa. I mean, I could be wrong, but so that's pretty much it, Mark. I don't want to keep you any longer. So where can people find your magazine online?
You can find it online. I'm on Facebook. I'm at Icelandic Football Magazine on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter as well. I can't really remember what it was. It's Icelandic Football UK, I think it is. It's on Twitter.
Okay.
So they can find me on there as well. But they can find blogs if they just type in Icelandic football. One of my blogs will probably appear in front of them. I've got a thing at WordPress. I think it's Icelandic Football UK again at WordPress.
Okay.
But I don't release a lot of blogs now because I'm obviously doing the magazine. So I'll release some things now and again, just
Okay.
not coming magazine. Just my taste for what's happening.
I'll provide a link to all your stuff anyway at the bottom of the YouTube thing. So thanks for your time, Mark.
No problem.
For sharing your views. Very interesting to get the view from Iceland via Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's a strange connection, that.
Okay.